The first thing she ever said to me was, "Trust is a weapon," and I refused to be disarmed. Her name was Erin Voss, commander of the Black Halo fleet. In most sectors, that name inspired fear. In others, hatred. The Black Halo were mercenaries, smugglers, liberators, pirates, depending on who you asked. They operated outside the Galactic Accord, answering to no empire. And she commanded them with ruthless precision. I wasn't supposed to meet her. I was a systems engineer from Earth assigned to repair a damaged Accord relay station at the edge of Coalition space. Routine contract work. Long hours. Low pay. No glory. Until her fleet arrived. They didn't attack the station. They surrounded it. Every channel went dark except one. A calm, cold female voice filled the comm room. "This station is harboring a spy transmitting Black Halo coordinates to the Accord. Surrender the individual, and no one else is harmed." Panic erupted among the crew. I kept quiet, because I knew she wasn't lying. The spy was real, and it wasn't me. But that didn't matter. The Accord would never admit infiltration. And if they suspected I'd learned anything, they'd silence me. The Black Halo ships loomed outside the viewport like fragments of night carved into sharp edges. Then her image appeared on the central display. Dark uniform. Silver-trimmed armor plating. A thin scar traced along her jawline. Her eyes, pale violet, were steady, calculating. "You have 1 hour," she said. And then the channel closed. The decision. The station commander immediately contacted the Accord, requesting reinforcements. They refused. "Hold position. Do not engage," the reply said, which meant, "You're expendable." I found the spy in the data core an hour later. He was young, nervous, probably recruited by promises of citizenship upgrades. "You're going to get us all killed," I told him. "They'll protect us," he insisted. "No," I said quietly. "They won't." Outside, Black Halo ships began powering weapons. The commander locked down the station. And that's when I made a choice that changed everything. I opened a private channel. To her. The first risk. Her image appeared again, this time closer. More detailed. "You are not the commander," she observed.
No.
"Then why are you speaking?" "Because the commander is stalling. The Accord won't send help. They never plan to." Her eyes narrowed slightly. "And you know this how?" "Because I work their systems. I see what they prioritize." Silence. Then, "Continue. The spy is real. He's in the data core. But if you attack, the commander will trigger a reactor overload. He'd rather destroy the station than admit infiltration." Her gaze sharpened. "You expect me to trust this information?" "No," I said honestly. "But if I'm lying, you lose nothing by verifying." A pause. Then she gave orders I couldn't hear. Moments later, Black Halo ships repositioned, not to fire, but to target the station's external power grid with precision EMP bursts. The station lights flickered. Weapons offline. Reactor control isolated. She wasn't destroying us. She was neutralizing the threat without casualties. "You have 5 minutes," she said. "Bring me the spy." That was the moment I understood something about her. She wasn't ruthless. She was careful. Face to face. They boarded the station without firing a single lethal shot. Black Halo soldiers moved like shadows, efficient and silent. No unnecessary violence. I escorted them to the data core. The spy surrendered immediately. When I turned around, she was there. Closer than any screen could capture. She wasn't tall, but she carried presence like gravity. The kind that pulled attention without effort. "You risked execution by your own command," she said. "Yes." "Why?" "Because unnecessary deaths are stupid." A faint flicker in her eyes. Amusement, maybe. You assume I would not have destroyed the station. I analyzed your previous engagements. You target infrastructure, not civilians. You studied me. Engineers study patterns. She stepped closer. And what pattern do you see? That you don't enjoy this. Her expression hardened slightly. Enjoyment is irrelevant. Maybe, I said. But it still matters. Her soldiers escorted the spy away. She remained. Your command will brand you complicit, she said. You cannot stay here. I know. Then you have two choices. Remain and face their judgment. Or leave. With you? Yes. And why offer that? Her voice lowered. Because you chose truth over safety. That is rare. Trust is a weapon, she had said. And she was offering me one. Life in the Black Halo. I expected chaos aboard her flagship. Instead, I found discipline. The Black Halo weren't pirates. They were refugees from collapsed systems, former soldiers abandoned by empires, scientists who refused to weaponize discoveries. They followed her not because she ruled through fear, but because she protected them. You don't let anyone get close to you. I observed weeks later in the observation deck. Proximity creates vulnerability. You trust your fleet. I trust their purpose. That's not the same. She studied the stars. In this galaxy, alliances are temporary. Empires betray. Treaties collapse. Trust invites exploitation. And yet, I said, you let me stay. A pause. You have not asked for power. Should I? No. That was the closest thing to humor I'd seen from her. The betrayal. 3 months later, the Accord made their move. They broadcast evidence accusing Black Halo of orchestrating false flag attacks on civilian transports. The footage was convincing. Too convincing. I didn't authorize these strikes, she said quietly in the war room. Her officers were furious. They're framing us, one growled. Yes, I said. But they're doing it carefully. The transport coordinates in the footage were modified. Subtle timestamp mismatches. They're pushing neutral systems to declare you terrorists, I continued. Once they do, they'll have legal justification to annihilate you. Silence filled the room. She looked at me. What do you propose? Expose them. With what proof? I hesitated. The proof is in their central archives. Her eyes sharpened. That station is fortified beyond penetration. I know. I helped design parts of it. The room went still. You're suggesting infiltration, one officer said. Yes. Suicide, another muttered. She looked at me carefully. You would return to the Accord. Yes. They will imprison you. Probably. Interrogate you. Definitely. And you still suggest this. I met her gaze. You once said trust is a weapon. Let me prove it doesn't have to be. The impossible mission. The Accord arrested me within minutes of docking. They didn't torture me. They didn't need to. They simply informed me I'd be processed, which meant erased. I requested a data audit before transfer, standard engineer protocol. While reviewing system logs, I accessed the archive vault. The fabricated evidence files were there, but so were deeper files. Communications between high-ranking officials. Proof they planned to eliminate Black Halo to consolidate power. I transmitted everything to a hidden Black Halo relay. Alarms blared seconds later. Security stormed the chamber. I was dragged away. And, this time, there would be no negotiation. The rescue. They transported me aboard a prison frigate. Bound. Under heavy guard. As the ship entered warp, space fractured. Black Halo ships tore through the warp corridor like blades through silk. Explosions rippled across the frigate. Alarms screamed. The deck lurched violently. A breach opened in the hull, and through smoke and flashing lights, she stepped in, blaster in hand, armor scorched. "You're early," I coughed. "You underestimated how much I dislike being manipulated," she replied coolly. Her soldiers secured the corridor. She cut my restraints personally. "You shouldn't have come," I said. "And let them erase you?" Her voice sharpened. "You risked everything to expose them. That was the plan. And what if you had failed? I trusted you." The word hung between us. Trust. A weapon. Or something else. The final confrontation. The evidence broadcast across neutral systems within hours. Accord credibility shattered. Several core worlds withdrew support. Coalition fractures deepened. But cornered powers are dangerous. The Accord launched a direct assault on Black Halo territory. Full fleet mobilization. This wasn't propaganda. This was extermination. Her war room pulsed with tension. "They will not negotiate," one officer said. "No," she agreed. "And we cannot match their numbers." Silence. Then she looked at me. "Options." I inhaled slowly. "You've spent years surviving outside their system." "Yes." "They rely on centralized command." "Yes." "Then we break it." "How?" "Not by destroying fleets. By severing command AI." Her eyes narrowed. "That would cripple entire sectors. For hours. Long enough to force ceasefire. It will cause chaos. Temporary chaos is better than permanent war." She studied me. "You're asking me to destabilize half the galaxy. I'm asking you to trust that it prevents something worse." A long silence. Then she nodded. "Prepare the strike." Risking everything. The plan required one thing. Someone had to manually override the central AI relay at the heart of Accord space, which meant going in physically. "I'll do it," I said. Her gaze hardened. "No." "You can't," I insisted. "They'll expect you, not me. You are not expendable." "I know." Silence. "You once told me proximity creates vulnerability," I said quietly. "Maybe that's the point." She stepped closer. "If you fail." "I won't." "That is not certainty." "No," I admitted. "It's trust." For the first time since I'd known her, she hesitated. Then she placed a small device in my hand. "A direct link," she said softly. "To me? Is that wise?" "No." "Good." The climax. The infiltration was brutal. Security was doubled. The AI core thrummed with layered encryption. But unpredictability has value. I triggered cascading overrides that forced the AI into safe mode isolation. Across the galaxy, Accord fleets froze mid-formation. Command channels went dark. Chaos erupted. But not war. Her fleet broadcast a single message to all systems. "Stand down. The evidence is public. This ends now." Without centralized coordination, the Accord could not mount unified retaliation. Within hours, ceasefire signals spread. Negotiations began. The galaxy teetered, then stabilized. The ending. Days later, I stood beside her on the flagship's observation deck. The stars felt quieter, less hostile. "They will rebuild," she said. "Yes. And they may still hate us." "Probably." A pause. "You risked your life twice," she said. "Once to join us. Once to save us." I made choices. For me. For the truth. She studied me carefully. I believed trust was impossible in this galaxy. And now. She looked out at the stars. "I believe it is rare." "That's an improvement." Her lips curved faintly. "You gave me something I did not design. Did not command. Did not control." "Dangerous," I said. "Yes." Silence settled between us. Not cold, but steady. The Black Halo fleet drifted peacefully through open space. Not hunted. Not hiding.
Free.
She turned to me one last time. You risked everything. Would you have done the same? Her violet eyes softened, just slightly. Yes. And in that moment, I realized something powerful. Trust wasn't a weapon. It was a bridge. And in a galaxy built on suspicion, fear, and betrayal, we had built one strong enough to hold. The war didn't end that day. The galaxy didn't suddenly become kind. But something shifted. An alliance not forged by contracts, not sealed by force, but chosen. She once believed trust was impossible. Now she carried it like armor. And this time, she wasn't disarmed. She was unstoppable.